What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. Today, I'm going to try out a Shadow Primeape team in the Go Battle League. I saw a lot of Primeape yesterday, and it feels like a really fun Pokemon to use right now, so I wanted to give it a go myself. Now, before you say anything, I know this team does triple lose to Talonflame, but I can explain. Sometimes in the Go Battle League, you have to choose your weaknesses here, and while I am going to basically just lose any Talonflame that I see here, I have so much play into almost every other team in the game that it balances out those losses, and it can get some really nice wins. I'm going to try this team out today, so let's get into the battles and see what this team can do. All right, we got our first match. Corviknight into Unova Stunfisk. Not a great lead matchup here, although it is playable for our safe swap. I'm going to bring in Primeape and go immediately for a Rage Fist if they stay in, because I can outpace into this attack, and potentially I can use this ramping up potential against whatever they might have in the backline if they do opt to, swap out after this. Rage Fist will end up landing, does a decent chunk of damage here, but our opponent will be able to throw a Mud Bomb, which, while it would not one-shot us, would put us into a pretty awkward range where I might get, farmed down by whatever they might bring in, so we'll go for the shield there. And we bait out an Araquanid. Okay. Intriguing. I know at this point that the switch clocks are desynced, and Araquanid is not necessarily the best into Primeape, so maybe I can dance around that a little bit. Okay, we'll go for another Rage Fist here, because I have to, right? I don't really want to get farmed down. I mean, if they let this go, is there ever a chance I can just try to brute force this with Primeape? Honestly, maybe. Yeah, wait, these Karate Chops are shredding right now. What if I just shield this? It's probably a Bubble Beam, but if I can Karate Chop down, I might be in a decent spot here. And they Water Pulse, so I think I definitely can Karate Chop down. These fast moves, while they are resisted, are doing a lot of damage. Down goes the Araquanid. If the U-Fist comes back in, that's what Ice Punch is for. I'm at +2. This is going to do quite a bit of damage here. And if they shield this, they might have to double shield, actually. Yeah, we get 1 shield, 2, 3, 4. So Ice Punch here is going to get a knockout. I get my Gourgeist against this if they shield. And if not, it's a Gourgeist plus Corviknight against whatever the third Pokemon's going to be. Yeah, we get a shield, so we flip switch advantage. And really not at much of a cost. In fact, we're in such a good spot here because Primeape put in a lot of work on the safe swap. Oh my goodness! Okay, love to see it. Great start here to the set. Okay, we got our next battle. Corviknight into Bastiodon. Okay, this isn't necessarily where you want a flying-type Pokemon to be, but yesterday I was using a Corviknight team, and, I mean, it just kind of proved how many times Corviknight could beat Basti that this is not a bad matchup. Like, not inherently, at least. I just realized how weak my team is to Talonflame. Hopefully we don't see any of those here today. That would be, that'd be pretty bad. Fire types in general is pretty bad, for this lineup. But Talonflame does not exist, so we should be fine. I'm going to shield this up, because if they're going to stay in this lead matchup, which, I mean, is not necessarily bad for them, but, like, if they're going to stay in, I might as well get something out of it. I'm going to bring in my Grass type into the Steel and Flying type. You might wonder why. Main reason being, for some reason, they gave this thing Incinerate, so I have super effective fast move pressure against them, and I can put in a lot of pressure if they want to try to start shielding through this matchup. They go for a Payback here, which is very effective against us, but the problem for them is they need a full Air Cutter to knock us out before I get another Shadow Ball off. And if they do that, that's fine by me. Okay, that's actually probably a smart play, because they should be able to get the Air Cutter. But, I mean, I don't really need Switch against a Bastiodon, right? I have a Primeape in the backline, and I can farm down their Corviknight with my Corviknight. So maybe it's not the worst spot to be in. They get a boost, but I don't think that raises their damage whatsoever. Okay, they bring in the Basti here again for some reason. They're ABA Steel, from what I can tell, from what we've seen so far. So maybe they have a Pokemon in the backline that's maybe a little bit better. Okay. 6. This is going to be an interesting game, because when do they shield, right? When and what do they shield? Okay, we get a shield there. I'm going to shield this. I honestly don't know if it's a good play or not, but I think I kind of have to shield something, right? If we can get a shield here with this Air Cutter, we might be in a good spot. But if they no-shield this, then I don't know if I can farm this down. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Super effective Rage Fist. Shadow into Shadow. Is this enough damage to knock out? I don't know if it quite is just yet, but it will put them very low. Oh, it does just straight up knock out. So now we have our Primeape in the back line against the Bastiodon, and as we know, that's a pretty good matchup, so good stuff. All right, we got our next opponent. It's going to be a Corviknight lead into a Togekiss. Okay, I mean, honestly, this is where I want to see it. Both of my backline Pokemon are weak to Flying-type damage, and technically I have a Steel into a Fairy. On paper, you'd think that'd be really cool to see, right? But the bad thing is, for some reason, Togekiss is not a good matchup for Corviknight, just because Peck is such a strong move, and Orisaur is way more efficient than Air Cutter. They're actually able to put in quite a bit of work here. You can see that's basically a two-shot against us, right? I will reach 3 Air Cutters, though, so if I can get a boost early on, then, I mean, I might get a shield down from them. They're at 10, so 5 after that Orisaur was thrown, which means they have another Orisaur loaded right now. I didn't boost on that first Air Cutter, which is a little bit tragic, but, you know, it's fine. I'm almost at my next Air Cutter now, so let's see what they want to do here. If they shield, that's fine, I guess. If they no shield, that's also pretty fine. I think I'd prefer a no shield to come through here, but I guess we'll see. Okay, we actually just win the zero shield matchup because they do no shield. Okay, and they're probably hoping that Corviknight is going to be the counter that I have to Furret, but the problem for them is I actually have a second counter to it, right? It's not actually a counter user necessarily, but it is a Pokemon with fighting type damage, so it's not too bad. Alright, Shadow Annihilate is a bit of a scary Pokemon, right? But I think it's very playable, because at this point, it's not even like Furret's that good necessarily into Gourgeist. Because Furret has to go for a full Sucker Punch down against us. Smart play. But I don't want to have to go for a shield here, so I will go just straight up for the Seed Bomb. I want to get a shield or a knockout. And we do get the shield there, actually. I mean, I think I'm fine with that, because, as I said, Gourgeist still has play into Furret here, right? And I can go for a Seed Bomb against them, and then I bet my Prime can still put in some work against this Furret here, even without shields. They likely have to no-shield this, I would say. Yeah. But now I can go straight for Rage Fists. And while this move is resisted, it's going to make it so my Karate Chops are going to add up way quicker than they'd like. They do shield that as well, so that is pretty bad for them. If they can go for maybe a Trailblaze and Sucker Punches down in 4, that would be bad. But they go for a Swift, which is not going to knock us out. It will actually knock us out, though, like that. They do go for a charge attack here, but I feel like, you know, they haven't boosted their attack yet. There's a chance I can survive long enough. Trailblaze is resisted. 2 Sucker Punches don't knock us out. Nice. Okay, super close endgame there. Probably should have gone for the Shadow Ball against the Annihilate to not have to dump all of my energy like I did, but it still worked out for us, and our Gourgeist in the backline against Annihilate was good enough, and our Primeape, I mean, you'd think fighting types would be good in Furret, but it was just close enough there we were able to win. Next battle. Corviknight into Shadow Scizor. Very good lead. Very good lead. Whole team has play into this, but by far, this is actually not even by far. This isn't my best matchup. It's one of my better matchups, though. And we see a Corsola brought in here, which is very good for my Corviknight to see, saying, I think my backline is a lot weaker to this than it is to a Shadow Scizor. If we get shields down, then that Shadow Scizor is even weaker than it would otherwise be. Okay, we actually get a very early shield. They're back-to-back Nightshades right now, and while they will hurt quite a bit here, Corviknight should be able to tank at least one. If I can take a second, I'd be very happy. And it looks like I will be able to just barely. I should be able to no-shield this, survive the move, and then get the payback off, which is going to put them pretty low. Alright, so they're at 1 right now, 4 away from their next charge attack. Okay, we land that move there. I'll just bring in Primeape. And I think I'm fine over farming a little bit here. That way, if that Scizor does come in, I can just go for a Rage Fist and get their second shield pretty quickly. But I do want to swap out if they do bring in Scizor after I throw the Rage Fist, because they just farm us down otherwise. And I feel like with 2 shield advantage, I'd be in a pretty good spot here. I guess if they no shield, I'll probably have to make sure I stay in. I don't know. Let's see. Okay, yeah, let's just swap. They can go for a Night Slash here, which is super effective into Gourgeist. But all things considered, there's not a lot of things in the game super good against a shield and energy lead Gourgeist. Yeah, I would expect like a Mud Slapper maybe in the backline, or I don't know, some sort of water type would make sense too, right? Something that Jellicent, or not Jellicent, that Gourgeist, a different ghost type, would be able to have some good play into. Alright, next battle. Corviknight into Furret. Alright, very good lead. Gourgeist gets to avoid this. Although Primeape would rather be here, there's a chance Primeape has less play in the backline than I'd like, just because Furret obviously is a Pokemon that is weak to fighting. But I think nowadays there's a chance people just don't respect fighting type damage at all. So maybe it's not that bad for us. And one thing that I see my opponent doing is they're building up a lot of energy. I almost wonder if they're going to swap out with this now. Yeah. Which is, in general, a good play. But, oh, you know, actually, is Gourgeist just a really good wall to this Pokemon? Unless we're on Moonblast, right? I was going to say, Gourgeist actually walls the Furret's energy, too, so, like, it wouldn't be that bad later on if I had to be locked in there. And my Primeape gets to avoid this Florges. But that Furret, with all the energy they still have loaded, could be a little bit of a problem for my Primeape, just because, as we've seen, Primeape is a pretty squishy Pokemon, right? There's a chance that could still put in some work against us. I'm going to instantly throw the Shadow Ball before I get debuffed a second time. I am honestly extremely surprised to see a shield come up there. Because what is this Florges going to do? Maybe they're going to try to catch my next Shadow Ball on their Furret, which would be a decent play, I suppose. Okay. We see a Wigglytuff come in. And that's not too bad for us here. But my Corviknight does have a lot of work to do. And I don't know if we have... It's going to be an interesting game here. It's going to be a very interesting game. They have some very low HP Pokemon, but I'm getting kind of low on my Corviknight here as well, which Corviknight is I think, my most valuable Pokemon right now, so we'll see what happens here. I need to shield the Icy Wind. I can't take this damage. I need 2 more Air Cutters to knock this out. I want this Wigglytuff gone. There's a chance they can go for a Swift here against us if they want to land their move before, you know, I could maybe snipe him down with another Air Cutter. Alright. I survived this attack. So I can no-shield this. And they have to throw a second Swift to knock us out if they really want to. Okay, they actually do throw all of their energy here. I think this sets up a nice Primeape situation, potentially. Don't quite get the full farm down here. That's actually kind of bad. I'm going to shield the Swift. I don't know. I was hoping they wouldn't reach this move. I should have been counting a little bit better. That's on me, though. But I can go for a Rage Fist here and maybe get his shield. Shield or a knockout. Maybe get his shield, actually. I don't know if I have the energy that I need this game. Because that Florges could come back in now. And maybe get to a Chilling Water. Yeah. They played this well. They played this so well that dancing around with the energy on that Furret was a really nice play. My Primeape really was just stuck in a really bad spot for most of this game. Because its only good matchup was against a Pokemon with 100 energy. And while I can knock out this Florges here, I'm just going to get 1 Charm knocked out, unfortunately. Man, nice play by them. Double Fairy Team. Not exactly what my Primeape wanted to see. Corviknight had way too much work to do there. Unfortunately, couldn't quite pull out the 5-0, but still a 4-1. Not too bad here. I'd say that's a good start. Let's keep on going. Next opponent. Corviknight up against a Pangoro. Okay. I guess it's better to see this here than on Gourgeist, but our whole team has ways to deal with this, so we'll see what our opponent wants to do with this. I'm gonna go for the early air cutter, just to get a move off against them. I want to put them into Karate Chop or Incinerate downrange if possible, as early as we can. Okay. Okay, have a Clefable here. I wonder how this plays out with Primeape, because I bet I can outpace over time here, which could be pretty good. 6. If they have Swift, that's, less fortunate. But at least, unlike Florges, they can't debuff me here. Okay, and that's a Meteor Mash, so they're not going to bait us with anything. Alright. They CMP on the Meteor Mash. And they shield the attack as well. Okay. I'm going to let this go. If I had one more Karate Chop of energy, I would have actually been able to get to that next Rage Fist, but very quick swap out by our opponent here. But luckily, I hardwall all of the energy from Clefable here, so I can just bring in my Corviknight and build up a lot of energy. But the bad thing is, there is still energy on that Pangoro. My Gourgeist as well could fight against that Pangoro later on, which would not be ideal. But I'm just going to farm this all the way down. I'm fine taking another move here, because 100 energy on Corviknight seems a little bit more threatening than, like, I don't know, 30 energy. Okay, they bring back in the Pangoro here. I'll shield this up, because a Night Slash would basically knock us out. And then I can go here for the Air Cutters. They shouldn't be able to get another Night Slash off, I don't think. Yeah, they do let that go. We get a boost, and we have a lot of energy still. Hopefully there's something that either Corviknight or Gourgeist has play into. We'll see. 2. Okay. Well, should have baited there, maybe. We go for the catch on what I think is going to be a Surf. And this opens up potential win conditions still. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Well played. I should have gone for the instant Shadow Ball there. My opponent very wisely knew that I was going to expect them to catch. I should have gone instantly for the move, because now they have the Surf. Oh, man, I'm so bad at this game. I should have just full set the Shadow Ball, or, like, waited to see what was going to happen. I just don't trust waiting a turn to work out. I could have won that game. With that catch especially, right? Ah, man, that's so sad. That was so close there, but well played to them. Alright, we gotta win this one. I feel like we should have had that last game in the bag, but we might have thrown it. Really good lead, actually. Whole team has ways to super effectively hit this Pokemon. Okay, and we see a Primeape come in. While we would get one-shot here by a single attack from this Pokemon, I know for a fact that I can overfarm a lot of energy here and start threatening moves against that Dartrix in the backline. Alright, we'll go for the CMP here, just to try to bait them into shielding this, because if they shield this attack up, I can shield one more time, farm all the way down, and have a boosted Primeape with 2 Ice Punches. But they don't quite fall for it here, it looks like. But I think I might still get to 2 Ice Punches if they don't throw a Seed Bomb against us. Although, I don't even know if they can throw a Seed Bomb against us. Yeah, no, it's a CMP if they try that. Nice catch. On a Carbink. That's fine, I guess. I don't know, I mean, there's worse things to see, right? A boosted Ice Punch does a lot of damage there. And I have a Grass type, which, while it's not the best Grass type at doing Grass type things in the game, it is still good enough, I think, here, to win us this match. And I have Incinerate, so I could still damage that Dartrix if I needed to. We're at back-to-back Seed Bombs here. They didn't throw energy just yet. Okay, I'm just going to back-to-back Seed Bomb. Let's try to get this final shield from them if we can. Nice, there's their final shield. And at this point, if they Moonblast us, so be it. That knocks us out. If they don't, then we're also in a good spot. Oh, it doesn't even knock us out here, nice. We just bring in our Corviknight here, shield up a Rock Slide. Actually, do we shield a Rock Slide, or do we potentially save a shield for the Brave Bird? I guess let's save the shield for the Brave Bird, actually, because Rock Slide's really not that strong of an attack. Yeah. They should be at 6 right now. I get to 3 Air Cutters before they can even get a Bait plus a Nuke off here with their Seed Bomb and Brave Bird combo. Yeah, they should be in a lot of trouble. And I still have my Gourgeist, I guess, as a catch if I need it, but I don't think we will. They're at 9. 10. So they're at back-to-back Seed Bombs here, which would be scary if I, actually was weak to grass, but no, we're the exact opposite. Smart Brave Bird. That's about their only hope, is, like, sneaking that move through a shield there, but no, we'll just shield this up. It looks like they have quit the game, so we should have the win. Yeah, nice. Okay, bit of an RPS game against them, but that's what Primeape can do, right? You take one of those safe swaps where you might have to go down shields, but you just leverage so much damage out of that matchup that you get your shields back, and it is such an awkward Pokemon to fight against, so it really put in some work there. Oh no, we have SS Thorn. SS Thorn always beats me. What's he running? Well, that's not a good start for me. It's a Morpeco. Pokemon that very much can give my team some trouble. And there's a Florges in the back too, so far really awkward team to deal with, but I feel like there's still, a little bit of play. We'll see what we can do here. I think I survive a Chilling Water. And I can get another Rage Fist off, which I am going to probably undercharge here just to try my best to get some energy on my Corviknight. Because energy on Corviknight, while it's resisted by Morpeco, first of all, it could be thrown into something else potentially in the backline. And second of all, Morpeco doesn't really resist anything. It's a very squishy Pokemon, so we'll see. Chilling Water does end up landing. Okay. This is going to be kind of a 50-50 on if he paybacks here or not. If he Air Cutters, we're in a decent spot. Okay. Because, as I said, Corviknight can still put in work against Morpeco, and Gourgeist here potentially can still put in a lot of work this game. Yeah, we get a shield with the Shadow Ball. I think we still survive this Air Cutter here. I'm going to no-shield this and just hope for the best. We do survive. If I get the next Shadow Ball off too, then I might still be able to win this game. Okay. I don't see a reason to shield this at all. I just really have to rely right now on my own Corviknight. And I don't know if it's going to be enough, but I just have to hope that it is, right? I just have to somehow hope that Corviknight can somehow, some way, somewhere, deal with this Morpeco. I need a boost, maybe. I think the issue is he's going to go straight Psychic Fangs against me here, which is not ideal. No boost. If for some reason he goes for an Aura Wheel here, then, either way, I think I lose this game. Oh, he actually does Aura Wheel? I think he could have won that straight Psychic Fangs, which is why I no-shielded that, but, I guess I should have shielded that move. I don't think we were winning that game, though, either way. If I could have outpaced that Corviknight to 2 Shadow Balls before that 3rd Air Cutter, though, might have been a win. Okay, next opponent. Another one of my Go Battle League nemesis here. Will, usually running some of the worst Pokemon in the game. And when I say worst, I don't mean, like, Pokemon that are bad. I just mean, like, Pokemon that are really annoying. And while this is not necessarily a great lead matchup here, saying I am, in fact, a Steel type into a Fire type, what we have to keep in mind is I'm doing Ground type Fast Move Pressure, and we do shield the Overheat. So we'll see if this is going to be playable still. He's at 1 right now, so because he threw the Overheat, he should still be 2 away from another Charge Attack. I don't know if I win CMP here. I don't, but that's fine. We force another move out of him. And getting this Macargo out of the way could be pretty nice, because I'm so weak to Fire-type damage with this team. Alright. Okay? It's a non-shadow Jumpluff, though, which is a little bit less good for me. Non-shadow Jumpluff here are going to be able to maybe just a little bit more easily survive an Ice Punch, but we do get a shield, so that's something, I guess. 8. I wonder if he's on Aerial Ace here. No, okay, so he's at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's 1 away from the next move. I would be very happy if I could knock him out with this Ice Punch plus a Rage Fist here in a second. Nice. So now we have a boosted Primeape that might be able to reach a move against something in the backline. We have a Gourgeist that gets to avoid a Jumpluff as well as a Macargo. What's the third Pokemon? Maybe a Mudslapper? Maybe a Mesprit. Did anyone think Mesprit in the back? What does this thing have? What does Mesprit learn? I don't know if I survive the confusion plus whatever charge attack they're going to throw here, but I'm 1 away from a Rage Fist right now on my Primeape. What is this going to be? I know, like, Uxie gets Thunderbolt. Blizzard, oh my god. Please tell me your Rage Fist knocks out. It's super effective. I have no idea what this Pokemon is. I have no idea what it does. Please tell me this just is enough. It is. It is. It is. It is enough. What the heck? Dude, okay. Let's go, I guess. Alright, next opponent. Corviknight into... What? Why? Another one of these? Alright, well, we learned that if you play it out and you shield properly here, it's honestly not that bad for Corviknight. I'm going to do something maybe a little bit crazy here, because they didn't debuff us just yet. And this could be a payback. Maybe they shield anyway. Okay, nice. Now I outpace them. Even if they bait us here. I'm going to shield this up, because I think I literally have to. Oh, I didn't have to if it was a Rock Tomb, I guess. Okay. So they're at 5 right now, which means they do have another attack, another Rock Tomb. Okay, that's amazing. Again, we kind of neutralize most of this Macargo. This is just a Rock Tomb. I think I actually survive it barely. Actually, maybe not. No, it's a Rock Tomb. It's still a good move. I see Macargo, I think squishy, or I think rather bulky Pokemon, so I would imagine I could survive things that maybe I wouldn't actually be able to. No, it's a Go-Goat. I know that Grass plus Fire is a really good core here, but Ice Punch on Primeape should do quite a bit. And we can actually go for the catch here on what is almost certainly going to be a Leaf Blade. Whether or not this is a good play depends on what their final Pokemon is going to be. Kind of scared of, like, a Ludicolo in the back. I've seen Ludicolo Macargo cores more times than I'd like to admit. Yeah, there literally is a Ludicolo on my screen. But I'm at back-to-back Shadow Ball here now. So maybe there's still some play. Oh, no. GG. I thought I'd be able to swap out there if they did that. That's a game. They got me. Yeah, there's no way Primeape can knock out this Ludicolo before they, well, they're just gonna get a Leaf Storm, actually, right? Oh, what? Well, maybe I win. Did they think I only had a Seed Bomb? They might have... I don't know. Maybe they thought I could get a close combat with my Primeape. Why did they do that? We'll take that, though. We get the 3-2 into the Kyurem encounter. Things are coming up Millhouse right now. Okay. Love to see that. Yeah, Gourguy's so spammy, actually able to somehow come back from that game there. Oh, PvP IVs? Probably not. But 3-2 will take it. Let's go. I got pretty lucky not seeing any real fire types. I guess a couple Macargos, right? But Macargo actually kind of playable here for Corviknight, so could kind of dance around that still. But luckily, no Talonflames, and this team, while it is able to have a lot of fun matchups, it is a little bit tricky to play. You need to make sure you know how to shield your Primeape properly, save those shields for that Pokemon, try to get that energy advantage as well, but as long as you can, this is a very fun team to use, so give it a try if you want to use Shadow Primeape, and if you don't fear Talonflame. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.